What's the most disturbing thing someone casually admitted to around you? When I worked in a retirement home, I had gotten close to one of the residents. Seemingly very sweet old lady. One day in curling her hair, and she casually tells me she killed both her ex-husbands. I was disturbed but brushed it off because old people can say outlandish things sometimes. A month or so later, I caught her in her current husband's room trying to unhook the oxygen tank. Had to report her. The guy I let live with me in my first apartment casually admitted to occasionally stealing blank checks from a woman with dementia who he apparently used to buy groceries for. When I was a teenager, I had a friend take a shit in my house and not flush. He seemed shocked when I confronted him, then dropped the bomb saying his family only flushes when they feel the toilet is completely full. 20+ years later, I'm still horrified. One of my wife's friends was complaining that her husband was molesting her daughter. The truly disturbing part was that she wasn't complaining that he was molesting her daughter. She was jealous that he had stopped fucking her. Yes, authorities were contacted. My previous boss proudly admitted to verbally abusing his mother and beating his daughter because she was showing signs of becoming a lesbian. And he advised me on doing the former to become the one in charge at home. Elderly lady I cared for at a nursing home, under sedation following a fall, casually told me she smothered 2 of her infant children. Not necessarily disturbing, but I had a doctor once tell me how hard it was for him to always know he's the smartest person in the room. I actually thought he was joking and chuckled. Nope. He was dead serious. Had an ex-friend tell me not to get drunk around him because he wouldn't be able to control himself while I'm asleep. When I told him that's not okay, he said he was sorry, but it's true. That his mom sexually abused him and his sisters. We were just chatting, and he told me this. His mom is hopefully going to prison for many years. A work colleague admitted to using the key he had kept, illegally, to his ex-wife's car to climb into the trunk and stalk/follow her and her new boyfriend. I once spent a few days on the back of a media moto in Spain for a photo shoot I was working on, and the writer told me he was told to kill an Albanian once by the Hells Angels. Not a specific Albanian, any Albanian, to send a message to the Albanian drug gangs that were moving in on Angels' territory. He wouldn't tell me if he went through with it. Buddy of mine described the time he killed 2 kids who tried to mug him. Went into detail about how he shot them in the face and the decorticate pose one of them went into. Coworker will randomly tell us horrible things her husband does. He's called her every name in the book, has punched her, not in the face thank God, but it's okay because we were playing. Regularly calls her at work and makes her cry, tells her choke on it whenever he wants sex from her. All this info is unprompted and I feel so bad for her. We regularly tell her this is not normal behavior and she needs to leave him alone. Someone told me their greatest regret was that they got discharged from the Marines for medical reasons before they got deployed, so they never got a chance to shoot people. Molested his 85-year-old grandma with Alzheimer's. Jesus didn't die for that sin. When I was in my 30s, my mom casually dropped that I have a half-sister. When I was 17, I got my first job working at a Subway. A colleague, who was around the same age as me, told me about how he helped his uncle with something once, and as a thank you, he was offered the opportunity to watch his uncle have sex with his aunt. I thought that was fucked up enough as it were, but when I asked if he took them up on the offer, he enthusiastically said, "Of course I did," as if I was the strange one for even asking. A coworker actually bragged and thought it was funny that one time while he and his family were moving, they told their dog to sit and drove off without him. I realized what a piece of shit he was. Old school friend once said he met 2 girls who were on holiday and he went out to dinner with them. Paid for one that he was getting friendly with, had a kiss, then went back to their caravan where they were staying. Anyway, because she didn't have sex with him, he left early, but took 20 pounds from her purse on the way out as compensation. I was like, WTF? My friend admitted she was thinking of killing her husband. It was very disturbing. Not just that she was actually considering murder, but the plan she had. We are no longer friends, lol. Overheard some kid at a bar talking about practicing his golf swing on a kitten. Me and my friends jumped him when we went out for a cigarette. Didn't see him there again. When I was 20, I got picked up on a traffic warrant and spent the night in county. A guy my age and for possession confided he and his friends robbed a house in Florida a couple years prior, and when the police arrived, he shot one in the head and escaped. The officer died on scene. I wasn't sure if he was serious or talking shit, but he pulled the old newspaper clipping from his Bible and showed me. He had even highlighted the officer's name. I 100% believe him. It doesn't matter if you treat your girlfriend like shit if she's depressed because she's just gonna kill herself anyway. I know this isn't as bad as most people's comments here, but it did really stick with me. That their license was suspended because they were randomly passing out, but they were still driving anyway. Had to get to work. I worked for an enterprise software company, so all our customer meetings had lots of attendees. A fairly new sales guy, who should not have been the lead on the account because he had only been with my company for about 3 weeks, opened the meeting with a story about how he had killed an intruder at his house a few years earlier. Blank stares all around. He didn't last long at my company.